All right, welcome everyone. My name is Paul Phillips, also known as JournalArtista, and tonight we're going to work in an art journal. But first, a couple of announcements. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that has supported. Um, uh, hmm, there we go. There's a blurry. What the is going on? So I want to thank everyone who supported not only my Stampin' Up sale. I got to update my I'm so overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is not the right word. I've been very, very busy. So I'm packaging orders. I packaged 8 today, and I got 3 more to do. Uh, so I can ship tomorrow. Um, and yeah, so I've been keeping a secret um, because two things. I wanted to make sure I could do it, and I wanted to make sure it worked. Because I don't promote anything that I don't believe in, and so I opened an Etsy shop. These are, I don't know if you can see it close up. I'll put it on some white paper or black paper. These are actually magnetic bracelets. Um, so the healing powers of magnetic therapy. So a lot of you know, since I've been started working out, I've had pain in my elbows. Kind of get shooting pain. I think it's tendonitis or some such resulting from, when I worked on the floor. I don't know, but when I grip things, um, I get pain in my I get pain in my elbows. So I've been wearing them now for about 3 weeks, and the difference is just amazing. Um, I can't believe it. So I wear them on both wrists and my left ankle. So can literally knock you over. That's crazy. So they come in lots of different styles. Like this is a 3-strand. Let me put this on there. This is a 3-strand, which has different designs. I just put up 3 on my Etsy shop right now because I wanted to get them out there, and I have I'm doing Stampin' Up stuff, and so these are hematite magnetic beads, and the clasp is a very, very strong magnet where you just twist to come off, and then to put it on, it's like that. So I'm going to be selling bracelets, necklaces, anklets, and what I'm most exciting about is dog collars. Um, so dogs have joint pain too, and the dog collars I'm going to sell are one strand, mostly depending on the size of your dog, and you can put your dog tag on there, not to be used for um, a leash, but oh, they're so cute. So my pictures are a little bad because I'm waiting for. I bought a light box type thing so I can take better pictures, but I wanted to get something up. I, it's just amazing. But before I tried it again, I wanted to make sure that they worked, and my beading skills were good enough for that type of thing. I mean, these are super strong magnets. If you get another brand, it's not all magnetized. So, this will pick up. The best thing when I first showed Simon, a month ago or whatever, I said, hold out your hand, right? Do you have any change? So he holds out his hand, and the whole thing took change. But not only are they, healing, they look good. This is the first one I made because I like pink and black. But there's so many different colors and options and styles, which I slowly, I have a whole bunch of these color of beads. They're called Picasso, and maybe it'll focus. This is red, white, and blue. But yeah, so I named my shop JournalArtista. Um, yeah, so I want to, piggyback on that name. Um, so they're not. They're not the cheapest, but buy two and get shipping for free. But I'm, they work for me is all I can say, and they are so cute on puppies. Wait till you see it on Bella. I've been having a problem trying to get her to sit still while she's got it going on because she's a little bit crazy. So I didn't say hello to anybody. That's bad news. So uh, I'm telling you, some of the magnetic bracelets look terrible, but look at so nice. And these beads come in oval, and so I'm excited to get the different options up, uh, onto the site. But um, for men usually like to either an anklet or a necklace because they may not like the look of a bracelet. But it's funny because exactly wrist, shoulder, and elbow pain and ankle. Um, and again, for the dogs, it's not, your dog's not going to be strangled or your cat because it'll pop open. So if I crate my puppies at night, so they won't get hooked up on anything. But I'm pretty proud of this one actually. So this is a 3-strand. And you can get this one with these beads, or there's so many combinations. And this is a 2-strand, and they come in 1 strand, which is a lot cheaper, and you can stack them. Oh, I'm excited. I'm telling you, um, I'm not, I'm not gonna do a lot of beading, but I'm not branching out into anything else necessarily. But JournalArtista, yes, on Etsy. Um, so lots going on. So again, thank you for people that are supporting my Stampin' Up sale. Oh, what a response. Absolutely amazing. And it's really helpful to me. I don't know if you saw my YouTube video. Some of the sets have been really hard for me to let go. So for example, just past day, because these have never been used. So even though it's nice, if I haven't used it at all, well, I lied. I used these two, but I'm going to clean it with solvent. 3. The point is, like this one, I've never used it, even though it's awesome. This one is called Love, and it's a script. It says a deep, tender, ineffable. It goes on about love. So it's a script stamp, typewritten, and this one I haven't put on my blog yet, but this one's called Travel Post. This is from 2004. Some of the vintage ones have been very hard for me to let go, but gotta do it. Gotta do it. And I, like I said, I must say they are immaculately mounted. Look, I even cut that one center. Anyway, and I've got lots of single stamps going up soon. When I've been beading, I've been doing art journals, I've been doing shipping. So I really appreciate everybody's support, and I've never felt more enlightened and hopeful and excited. So Jess needs the moose. Jess needs the moose. I'm sorry, Jenny. I hope you watched the recording. So I want to say hello to again to Darcy, Eileen, Anita, Murda, Sherry, Vicky, Grammy, Laurel, if she's still around. Yeah, I've been so busy. Very, very busy. Which is good, rather than sitting at work and or sitting at home and feeling overwhelmed and anxious and sad about what's going on. Yeah, it's the same price shipping to the US and Canada. It's only $3 shipping, and if you buy two. Oh, so I wanted to say, because it's a grand opening store, that I'm having 10% off code of JournalArtista. So pretty easy to remember, right? JournalArtista at JewelArtista. Okay, so tonight I'm going to work on a composition book, and I found these fancy composition books. No, they're not fancy, but oh, they come in pink, blue, purple. So if you don't want it covered, it's not a bad looking. Not that white and black are necessarily bad looking, but it's a little bit nicer. Just smoothing out. If I'm doing major work on in a composition book, ooh, looks like I have to go down for a second. Yeah, and if you order one of these composition books that are uncovered, it's $25. With my artwork inside, it's covered. It's $5 more. Sorry, I'm just gonna move my camera a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna gesso this. I get all excited about talking about bracelets, and it's just because they're nice, and I'm telling you, it's I don't feel pain at the gym. Anyway, so I'm gonna gesso this, and I'm gonna show you a haul. I got my Simon Says stamp. Now, it's my second to last haul. I got the dilution sprays and some stamps. So let me just gesso this so that while I'm showing that, this will dry. Hi, Lucinda. I'm glad you got it. I was worried because I hadn't heard from you or seen you for a while, so I'm glad. Glad to hear it. So I'm just placing some gesso to prep the pages for some scrubbing a little bit later on. Hopefully, hi Trish. Oh, is Deb Crafty in chat right now? I thought I saw Lisa too. I didn't say hello to Lisa. So everyone that's sent me money on PayPal is it's going to be shipped tomorrow. So gesso is a primer. So if you think like you're going to paint your walls, right? You want to prime it so that the paint doesn't sink in, and it gives a coat so that your paint color on top will look true. So I do have a YouTube video called Why Gesso over at JournalArtista on YouTube, and it'll show you the difference between what happens when you gesso, how paint reacts on your paper when you gesso and when you don't. I also have a video called Demystifying Acrylics, which shows pretty much the same thing with different type of acrylic paint on gesso and off gesso, and Demystifying Watercolor Crayons, which shows the difference between watercolor crayons on gesso and not. So some of those videos are older, from a couple of years ago. So JewelArtista, Jewel. And I think I set it up. I'm new at this Etsy stuff, and you know, the same. That's what I wanted to say at Big Cartel. Thanks to one of my friends, I'm not sure if she wants to be named, told me that for some reason it wasn't showing that I shipped to the U.S., which was silly. So I had to fix that. So if you tried to order and it didn't say shipping to the U.S. or somebody else, then maybe I'll open links and somebody can put it in for me. And I know that some of my Stampin' Up sets are pretty expensive because they're all retired. And, you know, I did a lot of research on eBay and different sites to see what other people sell them for. So I just opened my link, so it should be okay now. Um, oh, bad news. What was I saying before that? I forget. What was I saying? What was I talking about before I talked about Big Cartel? Oh, if someone buys a bracelet and I don't know if I've set it up right to be able to um, automatically list or post or whatever. So yeah, I got so many people that um, today that I have to catch up on because I was getting my Etsy store up. So right after I leave tonight, I'll catch up. Hi, Lucy Jane. I'll catch up on everything else. Okay, so let's. Da, 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 Simon Says stamps. So I had both. I mean, Blue Moon has the dilutions back in stock now, but at the time they didn't. So I ordered from Simon Says Stamps. So as you guys notice, it's a nice teal. Campso teal? What the heck is that? Campso. Oh, Calypso. My friends, did you see that? It looks like an M. I'm not crazy. I'm shaky. Doesn't that LY look like an M? Yeah, it looks like an M. Um, this one is Dirty Martini Cherry Pie, which is, so it's a nice deeper pink. All right, thanks, Eileen. Hi, Eileen. Hi, Karen. Thanks so much. Um, hi, Mickey. Yeah, you can wet them and lift them up if it's too. I did that in my last stream. I'll do it again tonight for you. If it's too strong, you can just lift it up. Welcome, Lynn. Pet Pamper. I think Pet Pamper is Nancy. Am I right? Please tell me I'm right. Okay, so white. We're gonna try that bad boy tonight. It's got a ball in it. Dolphins. What dolphins? That's Mickey. Yeah, so they're the exact same thing as color wash. They react the same way. It's just different colors. So these are dilutions. They're brighter, right? Now these are the first release. These aren't the new ones yet, obviously. And then these are the color washes. So you know, that's the only difference. You got a more nice earthy, muted tones, deep, and then you've got super bright tones. Eugene, I'm so sorry. Oh, I should have known that. I feel terrible. Terrible. Oh, so let's go back. Welcome, Eugene. I'm so glad that you're here. Water oils work really well in the jelly plate. Ooh, Anita, I'm gonna have to try that. That's wonderful. After Midnight, which is I don't know, it's a dark purple it looks like here, and Funky Fuchsia. Gotta love the Ranger sprays, I must say. Okay, I want to say it was Barb. It was either Barb or Brent. I think it was Brent. Enabled all of us with some feather stamps. I just had to get them. Hi, Susan. I just had to get them. These are made by Hero Arts. I bought them at Simon Says Stamp. Oh, how exciting is that? I'm excited. It's the little things that make me excited. Huh? So this is by Paper Artsy, and so when I searched, because I didn't remember who made the feathers, the one that was I think it was Brand anyways. Um, who made them? So I searched it, and this Paper Artsy set came. Look at this bad boy. All right, so look, we got a tree, a naked tree, naked. This is like a flower that has clocks in it. This says yesterday is a mystery, tomorrow. Oh no, wait. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. There's a smaller flower with script, a little tag. How about a reality check? I love that. Look, it's got a checkbox. And then it's got a feather that has like swirly stuff in it. It's got a compass rose, and then Paper Artsy always has those collages and stuff. So there's a face, a bird, and whatever. Yeah, it's unmounted, so you gotta cut it out. They're stamps, yeah. You gotta cut them out, unmounted. So I bought a Kaiser Craft border. This is a clear stamp. This one's called Artie. So that's you know how I like my texture stamps. Total it's 4.5 inches, but it's about 4 inches long. And these are cheap in comparison to the Paper Artsy, which I want to say, I don't know if there's there's no, everything I bought came to $74. So it couldn't have been too much money, maybe 25. All right, so I really like these Jenny Bolin stamps. I have the composition book one. This one is a record, and it's got the ledger. So you make a little book. So I have the composition that she came up with last time. And then this one is a monthly time. It's got a clock. And then it's got a graph. They also have another one. I forget what it was. But I just liked those two. This is a Bow Bunny stamp. Family Is, it's called. I really like the ampersand. Sometimes it's very hard to find ampersands. So this one is a little bicycle. But look, I really like that tree stump. It has like all the year rings, and then a heart in the middle. So it's like you're looking at it from the top down, and then it's got Scrabble tiles that say family. And again, it's like $3. It's cheaper. Is that it? I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's what I bought from Simon Says Stamps. Okay, so I'm gonna work on a composition book tonight. It's still not quite dry, so I'll give it a quick zap with the heat gun. Heat gun. Yes, I lots of time, even when you see here, I don't, that's why I always say, Mickey, I don't worry about covering your entire journal with gesso, because you get the little bits of areas that don't have gesso, and it sinks in. Why is my camera like wonky, sideways? Yeah, so I ordered all that stuff from Simon Says Stamp, and I love that website because Simon, I tell him, I said, see, like I got to order from there because you said Simon Says Stamp, like that's how it works. All right, I'm gonna start with a deeper purple. So I'm doing pretty good, under the circumstances. Very busy and not sleeping very well. My mind is just going in a million miles. It's not a worry. It's just, how you get where your mind's just thinking and thinking and thinking. What if this scenario, and what if I do that? And I'm not frozen. I'm just looking for some paint over here. I've been getting a lot of messages of whether I'm selling my stencils. No. Uh-oh, just dropped something. Yeah, as I'm saying, Simon says stamp, so I should do it. I can't sell my stencils. I will be selling some mounted stamps as well as other things, but I'm still too attached to the stencils at this point. So this is a heavy body artist grade acrylic, and you know, artist grade acrylics, I know they're expensive, but truly you use so much less than when you're using um, craft paint. So this is a shaky hand, but it's medium violet, golden. Thanks, Karen. So I only use a little bit of paint, and we're just gonna brush. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna take my credit cards. Credit cards. Thanks, Vicky. So good to see you. See that little bit of paint? Like, I'm gonna have way too much actually. So if you didn't gesso your page, if you tried to do this, it would just, your paint wouldn't move, you know? It would just sink right into your paper, and that's it. All right. So I'm gonna dip my hand into my water here. Spray it on. Hey Tracy, is that next weekend we spring ahead? This time coming? Hmm. So fast, eh? So I gotta wait a little bit for this to dry a little bit before I start wiping it off. If you don't wait, it's just gonna completely wipe off. Um, oh, it's gonna be beautiful here in Toronto. It's gonna be 10 degrees on Sunday. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. It's not exactly warm, but it's nice. It's not cold. Drinking water tonight. Especially if you're using an artist grade acrylic, it takes longer to dry than student grade, which takes longer to dry than craft paint. And I promise, the more you do this, uh, the more you can kind of judge the wait times. While we're waiting, I'm also selling this stamp. This is another Stampin' Up. When I cut the borders, I didn't keep the name, so I'm not sure. It's a map. It's like a highway map. 7.5 inches of snow in Ohio today. That's bad news. And this set, which is called Ferns, definitely Decorative Ferns from 2001. They look like this, which is cool for art journal because it's nice and dark. This was one of it's called Little Layers. So you'd use a shadow stamp and the one on top. And I know there's kind of two rules. I don't give up Paris stamps. I don't give up pen stamps, no matter what. But I have to get this one up. This one isn't even mounted. This one's not mounted. Brand new, 2004, called Paris in the Spring. So it's got a little puppy. Oh, there goes that. Puppy, Eiffel Tower, girl on the scooter. This one is sweet and simple. Kind of a line drawing. This one I didn't, I mounted, but I didn't put the stickers on, but it's got words on one side, and I don't know if you can see it. It was one of the celebrations. It's got words, and then it's got a bold flower or such. And I got this moose stamp for sale. I tweeted the other day. This one's called Love Notes. So again, tiny little guys. So I have to photograph them and put them up there. Okay, I'm gonna take a wet baby wipe. You know I was gonna bug Jess with that one. So as you see, I just sprinkled water on, and what happens, it acts as a resist. So I'm just gonna wipe the water off, and then I maybe waited too long, so it just means I have to put my back into it, as I like to say. It'll come off. Let me get it. Sweet goodness. That's bad news. Stuff going on. I know you're not kidding. I know I've had it for you. That's why I was just teasing you. Alright. So hopefully everyone's had a good week so far. You know what? I love you guys so much that I'm missing Duck Dynasty tonight. Just saying. Oh, another news. I went to the eye doctor's yesterday to get some contacts, which I should have in about a week. You know, got to get this benefit before the benefits run out. You got to get this stuff in. But so that's exciting. Now, this guy, you know, I haven't been to the eye doctors in a few years, but this guy was high tech. So he had this machine to check for glaucoma because it's in my family, and it like blows air into your eye. Has anyone had that test? It is the weirdest feeling ever. And you hear it before it goes, so then of course you blink. So she had to do it about 10 times, which is even worse. Alright, so it's up to you. The longer you wait, the more of a grungy, you know, look you get. So I'm just gonna, while we talk. Sorry if I'm shaking. Yeah, it's like this puff of air, and you know, I blink. So he's funny. He's like, they take this little pre-test that, you know, that because everything's, you know, it's not like those, you know, when you went and they're like 1 better, 2 worse, and it's like they flick the what do you call them? I actually have some, those optician little things. I have them for like collage and assemblage and stuff. You know, he does it all by computer, so it just buzzes. But I go in there so he knows. He's like, wow, you're almost blind. I'm like, yeah. It's bad news. So I have astigmatism in both eyes, which, you know, you have to special order contacts. And they're 1 month disposable, so that's good news. I'm excited. I haven't worn contacts because of the dusty environment. You know, you get the box dust, which is cellulose fiber. So I'm excited about that. Mostly because when I wear glasses, I don't have peripheral vision. Because my eyes are so strong, my vision is so bad that, you know, I have tunnel vision. It's all I see. Sorry that I'm shaking. I gotta put my back. Oh, that's wonderful. Those wonderful drops that, you know, make you look high because your pupils all the way out. Yeah, when I did that the one time, I'm telling you, I was in the eye doctor, And I come out, and you know the buildings downtown Toronto are tall, right? So I'm jaywalking across the street, mistake number one, to the subway, because the building's just across from the subway. And I walk out onto the street, so the building was shadowing the sun. And I went into the sun like halfway across the street, and it's like it was like a deer in the headlights. Like I just froze in the middle of the street because I couldn't see. It was so bright. It was bad news. Then you're on the subway thinking, everybody probably thinks I'm crazy because my eyes look black. Nothing else but black. All right. Lots of chatting tonight. I'm super chatty. Oh, when I have to get reading glasses, forget about it. I won't be able to see anything ever. To see clearly now, I have to bring something up to my nose. It has to touch my nose before I can see it. So once I lose nearsightedness, I won't be able to see anything at all. Or farsighted. Oh, anyway, you know what I mean. All right. I could work at that for hours. So let's just go on to the next layer. The good thing about artist grade paints is that there's so much pigment. You can create a nice watercolor wash effect on the next page if I wasn't chatting and I didn't let it dry out too much. Night, Trish. Let's see. Yeah, so you see the little splots from the water, and then you see the nice distressed type look. So I do. If you're using a composition book, 9 times out of 10, I glue the pages. Because you couldn't, the way I scrubbed that page, you wouldn't be able to do it. You know, if you only got a one layer, it's not a strong enough surface in my opinion. But not everybody does, so experiment in yours. Yeah, these are the splots. The ones that are really light, yeah, that's splots. Okay. So we got our first layer. So what I'm going to do is take a stencil, and tonight, for my friend, I'm using another Julie Faitha and Balzer. And that's wonderful, Margot. This one is called Diamonds. Simply Diamonds. So this time I'm going to offset it, and I got my gesso here. I'm going to get a spouncer. I threw out all those silly Martha Stewart ones. Absolutely hated them for what I do. Hated them. Because when I use a spouncer, I mean, I kept this to maybe, make circles, but when you use a real spouncer, there's the wood there. So it doesn't sink in. When you use these ones from Martha Stewart, because there was foam in here, when I'm trying to spounce, it actually hits that. It seemed like a good idea until I got them. Okay, so I'm going to use some gesso. And when I use a spouncer with gesso, I just put a little bit of gesso on the ring. On the lid, and then I just dab it off of my sheet. I use a Ranger craft mat, as you guys know, but whatever type of nonstick, whatever you got going on, you could just use a plastic plate or a paper plate if you want, just something that's gonna be able to allow you to dab off, because you don't want too much on your spouncer. You can also use a makeup wedge if you'd like. You don't want to have too much on there so it goes underneath the design. So just pick it up from there. Got it. So tonight I'm not going to cover the entire page. How am I going to try to say? I'm not going to utilize every part of the stencil. I want to see some of the original background, and so we will not use the whole thing. Just moving it to the other side. And that's why, you know, I do have a lot of 6x6 stencils, but that's why it's good to have a couple that are 12x12, you know, or 8x10 like the ones that Lisa sells over at Artist Seller, because you can do, you know, a whole page in your you don't have to worry about the repeating patterns, trying to get it exactly right. All right, a little bit more. So some of you know, also, when I say my mind's going crazy, very shortly I'll be releasing a class, something else, but it's going to be focused on, you know, what I like to call artful weight loss. To really talk to you about the tips that I've done, and how I've used art to help me through the mental stuff about losing weight, and how I stayed inspired with that. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I got lots going on. You know, I truly believe that even though losing my job is hard, I really think it's the kick in the pants, shall I say, that I needed to do what, you know, what I'm sure I was made to do with my life, which is not making boxes. Joyceage, is she here? That's wonderful, Lucinda. Lost 35 pounds. That's great. You come. All right, so just have some leftover gesso here on my spouncer. So I'm going to take, drop everything. So this leftover journal, you know, I'm just using the page that it was open to, and the stencil that I was already using. I'm going to dab a little bit of water. It's been a long time coming, that's for sure. So I used water, and that's why it looks kind of, you know, it kind of seeps underneath the stencil. Oh, here they go. See a puppy outside. Did I say that this place I'm looking at in Whitby this weekend has a fenced-in backyard with a dog door? Oh, I'm so excited. right now I only have a balcony. So that's just with a little bit of water. But again, you're just using the stuff that's, you know, rather than just wiping it up, and you're going to come up with something awesome in the end. All right, so let's just clean my pad here. You know, the thing about losing weight is that it truly goes by faster than you think. You know, when it's day by day and you get on the scale and it's only half a pound or 0.2 of a pound, all those little things add up. And next thing you know, it's been 2 months and you've lost 30 pounds. Well, maybe not 30, but 20. You know what I mean? Like it's time goes by so fast. All right. So I put gesso on there. So now that when I add more layers of paint, what's going to happen? Well, you'll see what's going to happen. Let me move some of these Stampin' Up sets here. It was funny. Simon says, well, if you're selling the Stampin' Up set for $6, does that mean like you paid $10 for it? I said, oh, yes. Yeah, that's how much I paid. Really, it was like $20. Okay, this is a alizarin. Focus. ALIZARIN for you wonderful American friends. ALIZARIN. Crimson. Okay, this time I'm going to put it on the palette. I'm going to use a brush rather than the credit card. Yeah, you need to drink a lot of water, that's for sure. Green tea. So this is a Liquitex Basics, which is a student grade paint. And don't worry about covering something you've already done, right? And like I always say, you gotta get willy-nilly with it. So I know I have all this stuff going on, guys, and I'm gonna do classes, I'm gonna do this, but I'm still gonna be the exact same person doing the exact same things. Well, maybe not the exact same things, but I'm still gonna be doing my art for free every Wednesday and Saturday. It's still gonna do my YouTube videos. I just think it's somewhat time to take the techniques that I and things that I do and make some money with it rather than other people watching my videos and then making money with it. Granny Jane has lost 32 pounds since Christmas. It's wonderful. Oh, Granny Jane got Pandora bracelet with 3 beads. That's awesome. I can't wait. That's one thing about, not working in a factory in a couple months. I look forward to baby wearing jewelry all the time. I can wear this at the factory because ooh, that's bad news. It goes into paint. It wouldn't get, if it got caught in a machine, it wouldn't bring your hand in, it would just come off. Okay. It's always good to reward yourself with a non-food item. So I got, again, lots of paint going on. So this time I'm going to flip a page. Let's see. Hey, this kind of goes, eh? All right. Let's put it over here. It's funny how when you, I've said this before, I know, but having dogs is like having a baby. You know what their barks mean. That's I'm barking at the cat bark. Just close it for a second to get some texture, and I'm going to take this piece of wax paper and let it dry. Okay, so student grade acrylic, again, it takes a little bit less time than artist grade, but hey Kathy, hey Vicky. Fixative spray. If you use Krylon makes it, so it's what they call workable fixative. This one makes by Krylon. You can buy them at Michael's. Prevents smudging of chalk, crayon, charcoal, pastels, and more. You know, or if you're using spray through a stencil and you don't want it, you know, to transfer, it's better to use like a craft paint. You just bounce it on with a makeup wedge and craft paint, and you don't have to worry about fixatives and such. But it's possible. I just have to get a new baby wipe. One thing is, if you find that, you know, you're not getting the results you want, or the paint's not coming off, sometimes you just have to get a brand new baby wipe if it's dry. Especially if you buy the cheaper baby wipes like at the dollar store. They definitely don't last as long. So what's happening is the gesso's resisting. So some of the paint's going, you know, between, and then you'll see the white back from the gesso. So again, just adding another layer to create more texture. Hi, Dale. Night, Anita. So I want to, sorry for the shake. I want to, speaking of shakes, I don't understand, does anyone else, I'm here, yeah, there's really 83 people. Sometimes I get over 100, depends on the day. Harlem Shake. Talk. I don't understand this Harlem Shake stuff. Where did it start? Did it start in Harlem? You know, I just don't understand it. I guess I'm out of the loop. Too much Duck Dynasty, not enough other stuff, I guess. That's who needs to do that Harlem Shake. Psy needs to do the Harlem Shake. I don't know. They're dancing, but it's this weird. I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe somebody can enlighten me later. All right. So I'm just, you know, wiping it back enough to see other layers, but I still want to be able to see some of the red, some of the purple, some of the gesso, a little bit of everything. So you see that I'm moving my baby wipe around a lot. So I want to get an open end, basically, a clear spot, so that you're not moving the paint around, you're actually wiping it up. All right. They're dancing goofy. I don't understand it. Like the other day, I was, they even had it on The Simpsons. I saw in the news. Like it's making news. And then some miners in Australia got fired for doing it. And it's just, I don't get it. It's like a flash mob of people dancing crazy. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna dry it and then I'm gonna show you what's going on. Night, Susan. Welcome, Becky. So good to see some new people. It's really easy to sign into Ustream. You just have to create a username and a password, and you can come chat. It's a great, great group on here, and we'd love to meet you. Okay. If you have, of course, if you have any questions, it's a great way to ask me questions. So, I mean, I use my hand to test that it's dry, but, you know, it could get hot, so just do it with caution. To make a Q when you have a question, it's a Q and a semicolon. So sometimes the pink doesn't show up right, but you can see that there's pink, that there's purple. All right, so now, as you know, it's time for stamping. Let's see. Sorry, my head. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use this chevron. This chevron, I already forgot who it's from. These are super sticky stamps. Unbelievably sticky. Maybe if I wipe them with the baby wipe. A Q and a colon. I think I would have said semicolon. Wrong way. Trying to get a block here somewhere. Oh, duh. It's right beside me. That cat must be just standing right in front of him. Yeah. Thanks, Lucy Jan. I think I said semicolon rather than colon. So this is just a little chevron. This stamp is, oh my goodness. Did I mention that it was sticky? So I'm making sure I stamp off the page. Oh, no audio? It'd probably be a good thing because you wouldn't hear Asha whining. I've been so busy lately, with doing computer stuff and beading that I've spent a lot of time downstairs. So she's probably wondering what the heck is going on. Welcome, CC Sawyer. I tell you, I had to go to Explorer to have anything happen. It's crazy. And then a wonderful Dee Dee has to use Chrome. It's weird. I don't know how well you can see this. It's a smaller stamp, so I'll show you when. So, you know, when I'm stamping here in black, I'm using an archival black ink, which is a permanent ink. You definitely, or you know, I don't want it to smudge when I'm putting other layers of paint on top, which is why I choose a permanent ink. Very important. You know, I love Ranger's archival. Memories, absolutely, is a good brand as well. Thanks. So, you know, when I'm doing a background texture like this, I don't use a mouse pad underneath my unmounted. But some people, that if you want a perfect impression, you can definitely use your mouse pad. So I'm just counting to make sure I have odd numbers of kind of sequences here. Just down here. Nope, that didn't come out. You know what I just realized? I'm working on this book upside down. Which wouldn't be the first time that happened on stream. If anybody remembers the other one. Alright. So a little bit of stamping. Right over top of everything. Now, it's important. Let's see if we can see. Just a little bit random. It's permanent ink, but it's still important to heat set it to make sure that it doesn't smoosh while you put the next layer of paint on. Heat gun. For this technique, I generally go from dark to light colors. You definitely can experiment, but I just find that works out best for me. And I mix everything together. So I used artist grade, and then I used a student grade. Now I'm going to use craft paint for the lightest color here. Poodle skirt pink. Let's see, poodle skirt pink. Or bubblegum pink, I think is a little bit better. Well, now the chevrons are going down. You know, I wanted it to go. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh my goodness, so good to see you. Your mom would be so proud of me doing magnetic bracelets. I thought they were going to go up because I have my book upside down. I am making this for someone that bought over on Big Cartel. So I hope they like it. I know they're watching. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my non-stick mat here. Everyone, Elizabeth is one of my real life friends. You guys are all my friends, absolutely, but I shouldn't say real life. In live person friends. Everybody welcome her. Asha's welcoming her. So again, don't worry about covering up what you've already done. And like I always say, don't worry about putting down a whole layer of paint either, because I think the more you make it look random, you know, then the less you get all worked up if you think you've, you know, messed up and it looks messy. Purposely make it look messy. Oh my goodness. This is what she does at 4:30 in the morning. Oh, I just gave myself a mustache with paint. The stencil, this triangle stencil, is a Crafter's Workshop Balzer Design stencil. The stamp, I forget. I want to say it's Heidi Swap, but I could be wrong. Let's see if I can find it. Teresa Collins. He said, she said, Teresa Collins. I think I'm just going to put it over here. You know me, I don't like it to waste paint. Welcome, Lizzie. All right, let that dry. Back to this bad boy. Let's see, I may not have a clean space. So craft paint dries a lot quicker. This is going to be like a 10 baby wipe night. From Chile. That's wonderful. Wow. What time is it there? Well, I have to put my back into this. Too much chatting, not enough wiping. Sorry for the shakes. New YouTube sensation, the Artista shake. You heard it first here. I'll be shaking the entire place. Oh, brand would be not brand, excuse me. I bought at the dollar store of all places, rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. Barb would be so proud. I am not sure if it's quite safe to Moonlit Rose, are you in Canada or the US? Canada would be Curry's, US sells, Blick sells them. Yeah, rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. Nah. Hey, I have a stamp carving for beginners video on YouTube. It's got like 40,000 hits. Check it out. It's the Paula Shake. I do. I carved a gear stamp. I talk about rubber, I talk about different type of tools. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Where's my hand sanitizer? Let's see if I can get a little quicker action out of this. I've got lots, yes, Darcy, lots of carved stamps. Did I leave them downstairs? Quite possibly. I got a coffee cup, an Eiffel Tower. Um, so the alcohol in your hand sanitizer just speeds up the process, shall we say. A cassette, yep. Um, something that says let go. My face. I left them downstairs because I was doing some of my couch art there. Some glasses. A door. Almost done. But see how much I didn't have to put so much effort into this by using a little bit of hand sanitizer. I carved a stamp live once too. I carved a leaf. It makes your art journal smell nice. Made a fleur-de-lis stamp. I mean, it's endless. That's for sure. Julie Faye Van Balzer also has a class. I think it's one of her $15 classes. Don't quote me. But, you know, I love Julie's classes. I love Julie Faye Balzer in general. She has a jelly plate class up right now too for $15. And you can't beat that. All right, almost done. Too much chatting, not enough shaking. Whew. Welcome, Dana. Did anybody, hey, Kimber? Oh, thanks, Vicky, or Becky, excuse me. Just look down and see. You know what else I saw? The dollar store sells some crazy things these days. At the Dollarama here in Canada, they had a scale, a $3, like a scale that you weigh yourself for weight. I don't know about that. I'm not quite sure if I'd want to buy a scale at the dollar store. It's amazing what you can find. Alright, almost done. I keep saying that, I know, but I still want to be able to see some of the purple, some of the... I'm going to get a new baby wipe because it's moving. Some of the purple, you know, some of the gesso, some of the stamping, it's some of the alizarin crimson. So what I'm doing now to make it brighter. So see the difference? I'm just taking a brand new baby wipe and just kind of buffing it, I guess is the right word. So what you're doing is getting off, you know, like I talked about, when you use a baby wipe like this where it's still just, you know, there's so much paint. Night, Vicky. Is that my stamp carving video? You see? Yeah, it just wipes off that extra paint that may be lingering around from your baby wipe. That may be a little bit it's addictive. Don't know how much to, and then I look at the mirror. I was gonna say I look at the mirror. I look at the screen and think, oh, there's a spot that I need to wipe back more. Darcy, are you turning into Joyce? I love my joysage. All right, enough. Enough. I just love it so much. Okay. So you can still see the Lazurian crimson. That means right? You see the purple, you see the crimson, you see the stamping, you see the gesso. You know, a little bit of everything going on. All right, so I'm just gonna take a heat gun, make doubly sure that it's dry. Heat gun. One thing I'll be selling is selling off is my quick cuts. A lot of quick cuts dies. You can use them in your big shot or big kick with the multi-purpose platform. But I just haven't used them in a while. I don't use my die cutter in general enough. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. Thanks, Eugene. This is, excuse me again, Julie from Balser mini chevron arrows. It's a virgin stencil. First time use. So I said that it was mini chevron arrows. So let us see. Shall we use funky fuchsia or shall we use cherry pie? I guess cherry's red. That would show up probably better. Let's go to the red. Sherry? Oh, I already said hot cherry. Okay. I even saw some, I thought of sherry because I have this wood-mounted Viva Las Vegas stamp from when I was on my honeymoon, which was a very long time ago. It's a slot machine. Just taking the plastic off. You can get a die cut machine very reasonably priced these days, especially because you I'm going to do black as our last layer, Vicky, yeah. Especially if you know, so many people, they have a nice, different colors come out all the time. Now they have a vintage one, and then people are selling their older versions. Okay, so cherry pie. Let's check it out. Just going to spray right on the stencil about 6 inches up. Again, I'm not spraying the entire stencil, but I will not send a stencil with the journal unless I completely forget, but I'll do the print. It's quite possible I could forget. Yeah, if you get a big kick, big shot, they all use all types of dies. I use my old quick cuts to MFT, which is my favorite things. I love their dies. You know, to regular Sizzix, to, I mean, everything. Embossing, everything. So I'm just going to let this dry a tiny bit, and then I'm going to, I like some areas that are darker, and then some areas that are lighter. So I am going to take a dry baby wipe to it. Alright, Mrs. Peeper. Let me find, I think it's in, nope, not that composition book. I just have to find the right art journal that has it. which could be a problem. Get one of these. Hold on, I'm creating a huge mess over here. Give me a second. Let's put this off to the side for a second. That was the page I did for one of Julie's blog hops, but I think it's in this one. I thought. This is a really quick art journal flip. It looks like a tie-dye motorcycle jacket. Here's my ode to Joyce. Yeah, not in this one. Definitely in this one somewhere. Almost. Okay. So this is the page from my YouTube video called Why Gesso? Why do you need gesso? And I actually, create the, show you how the difference, but I can just quickly. So on the gesso side, we got gesso on the whole page, including clear gesso on the scrapbook paper. And you can see that on the scrapbook paper, I mean, I wiped it back, and it's best if you watch the video as I kind of show it. But see how you can wipe the paint, you can move the paint around, right? With no gesso, ignore the white. I think I was testing the white pen there later, but you see how the paint just sinks right in, and you can't wipe it back. It'll just sink right into the scrapbook paper and sink right into the paper that you're using. So the gesso, it depends on what type of look you want. It's very rarely I don't do something with gesso. So huge difference. But check out the video because I go through it kind of step by step, and you see my, how I wipe back and all that good stuff. So I'm going to take a paper towel here, dab a little bit. So that red, I think that red blends in a little too much. What do you guys think? You can see it, but it's a little too blendy for me. Doesn't stand out enough. All right. Oh, Asher. That's the I want to go out cry. I'm looking for the chevron 12 by 12 stencil. Oh wait, I just saw one of my pomegranates. Ooh. Ooh. You can use matte medium instead of clear gesso if you so choose. Or I can use this, which is, you know, kind of more with the theme. What do you guys think? I'm going to use the same purple that I started with, so the medium violet. And I'm not going to wipe it back. When I put it on, I'm not wiping back. Pomegranate, chevron. Hi, Elizabeth. They don't want to make clear gesso because they want, you know, you can use matte medium instead. Chevron it is. Although this is nice and purple, this After Midnight spray. Maybe I'll try that. Every time I pick up this spray, I'm going to sing a Nelly Furtado song in my head. Okay, so again, After Midnight, Dilutions. And if the purchaser does not like this, I can always make another one. All right, I'll let that sit for a very quick second. Yeah, you can get matte medium with a coupon at Michael's. It's pretty busy though, Lucy Jane. I think that's what I mean. Like it's very busy. But maybe when I put I'm gonna add some white here in a second. I wonder if I used up all my paper towels when I had that water emergency on Saturday. All right, we'll just dab, 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 dab. All right, so I'm going to use the heat gun to dry this. Heat gun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is ink the edges. Oh, Asha, it's like I'm torturing her down there, which I'm not. Don't get all worked up. That's the, why are you ignoring me? I need attention. I'm the most important thing in your house. You should have nothing better to do than give me attention. You know. Alright, so I'm going to add itty bitty. I find it bitty. Anybody want a moose stamp? Anybody need a blue stamp? Cheap. So itty bitty backgrounds and black ink, and I ink the edges of a lot of my work or all of my pages just because I like the look. I don't think it kind of frames it. Oh, Jess. You know what? I'm thinking too much over here. But I'm thinking. So I wanna try something. And again, if the receiver doesn't like it, I wanna try the white. Oh, it's a Stampin' Up! Stamp actually from 97. It's called Itty Bitty Backgrounds, and you could probably find it really cheap on eBay. I think a lot of people have that stamp. Or had it, because at one point it was part of a demonstrator kit, startup kit, so my most used stamp ever. I even used it on my DVD. I absolutely love it. Again, just cutting off the plastic here. It's harder than it looks. What time is it? Oh, it's 11. No wonder she's barking at me. It is time to go out. Okay, I'm going to do one final thing and then... Absolutely. Flick wet paint on a white paint with a paintbrush. So, I wanted to see how the white would work with some drips through the other dilutions. So you probably want to see it. No, I'm selling on bigcartel.com. I'm selling composition books where I will customize a spread for you. So I make art in your journal and I send it to you, and then you fill the rest with your wonderful work. Boy, like I happen to like this book. Oh yeah, when you flick paint, absolutely. You should see my computer. Oh, when you start flicking paint with your paintbrush, look out. Sometimes I give it I blow on it a little bit. I almost said, oh, that's bad name. If you had a straw, you could do that funny stuff, but look at how cool, I'm trying not to get any glare. It's mixing with that purple. When I'm selling my quick cuts, it'll be on my blog. Probably the weekend. I've got to upload all my single stamps, and I think that's awesome. And I'm very excited to make it for you. Joyceage at any time is going to pipe up and says it looks like an amoeba. I'm having flashbacks. Alright, let me heat gun this bad boy. Can someone do me a favor and please type in my blog if you don't mind? Here is my honest opinion about this white. This white, in my humble opinion, is the exact same as the Distress Stain white, just in a spray bottle. Why I'm saying, check this out. Ooh, my bracelet stuck to my heat gun stand. Anyway, okay, Asha, okay, I'm coming. Give me a minute. Where's that journal you just had? How can I lose something I had 2 seconds ago? That makes 0 sense to me. Because I don't know if you remember this page. Picket fence, yes. Remember, this is the one that Joyce said looked like. Because I did it on one of these pages with you guys. Holy smokers. Anyways, it reacts the exact same way as that just did, which is absolutely wonderful. And you know I like sprays. Maybe it wasn't this journal. Oh yeah, here. I knew it. So this is the Picket Fences Distress Stain. Oh, that's wonderful, El. What is your name, Alfred Flower, if you don't mind sharing with us? So same thing. This is also Distress Stain, and that's where I put it through a stencil on white. Oh, everybody says I see a face. First it was Mary, who hasn't joined us in a while. She's the first one that said it. And then it just snowballed from there. Alright, let's see if I can finish drawing this. And Sharon, and JZ. Everybody. And Jean, and Laurel, and it's like this no matter what I do. So when this completely dries, I'm gonna put I'm gonna re-ink the edges black. I love how that looks. And see, it kind of just gets darker as it drips down the pages. Well, it's just not dry on these bottom drips because I sprayed it on a little thick, especially on this side, on the left side of the page there. So I'm just, I know I'm off camera, but I'm just finish inking the edges there. I think I'm going to stencil the title, touch it up so that it's a surprise. White ink. Yeah, Slee, Sharon, Dale, they all bug me about faces. I'm going to add, it looks a little shiny because that's just the way my camera, when I get the new setup, new camera. And then I'll go close up for you. Maybe you can see the itty bitty backgrounds there without any glare. There's the chevron. Yeah, it's cool that it blends and mixes. You know, there's because that cherry pie, what is it called? I want to be cherry pie on the other side. I love that white. That's just like a picket fence. Love picket fence too. Anyways, guys, if you missed it, I am selling these magnetic bracelets. I am excited about them just because I wear them all the time except for in the shower. Hey, Julie. Oh, my friend, I got your package the other day. I absolutely love it. Your package is going out tomorrow with all my other stuff. The post office is going to love me tomorrow. Love me tomorrow. I've got 12 things to go out so far. So the white drips picked up the ink from the dilutions underneath. Yeah. So it would be the same thing if you had Stencil. So let's see. I know that's not dry. They probably thought I was going to forget the stencil in there, or hoping I was going to forget. Okay. So if it's on, you can, no, I was going to try to show you through. Let's move to a different journal. Safer on the computer? Absolutely. Cell phone, hasn't screwed up cell phones or credit cards, or, I mean, I've been using it for about 3 weeks, so I haven't had any funky things. Alright, so this composition book I've been trying to finish. Let us see how it works on top of I'm trying to find a page that I have spray on. Here's a good one to do it on, actually. So I do have some spray on here. I believe it's a color wash. So now I shall take a different stencil. Alright, I've never used this one. But I'm just going to lay it up here, and I'm going to use the white. It's gonna be awesome. So I mean, I made it drip, but you can it'll come through it. Night, Darcy. I'm about ready to go too. This is a crafter's workshop stencil. You might not be able to find it because it's older. Don't quote me. Maybe you could find it. That's awesome. I must say I'm in like Kathy. This is a Dilution. It's Ranger. Diane Reevely's Dilutions. And it's awesome, I must say. It's like my black. I'm gonna have to buy more than one. Yeah, so glad that everybody can join me. Check out JournalArtista for magnetic jewelry. If you don't want one as strong, you can just get a one string. Don't forget your dogs. Oh, I can't wait to show you Bella with hers on. Anyways, and JournalArtista big cartel CARTEL if you want a personalized journal like this. And my blog is, I'm selling off my stamps, and just wait till you see the single ones. And that's what I was saying. My stamp stamps are expensive, but the single stamps are going to be a lot cheaper. $3 a stamp type thing. So I appreciate you coming, and hope to see you soon. Saturday, back on Saturday. Night, everybody. Thanks again for the support. I truly, truly appreciate it. Jess. Oh, I love you, Jess. Make me laugh. I appreciate it.